Doreen Granpeesheh is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen.
Parker says, I've heard horror stories of parents planning birthday parties and nobody shows up or RSVPs. Some have called police officers to have them show up, not to arrest anybody, but to celebrate. And we've had people who've called fire departments as well and things like that. Some have used the social media campaigns, et cetera. What do you think is the best way to plan a birthday party for an autistic individual?
It's so funny, Parker, you say that. Like, I remember I had a birthday party for my son when he was very young. I think it might have been, I want to say 3 or 4, and only one other child showed up. And I think he remembers it. I mean, he's now, as you know, a very social being and has tons of friends. But, I mean, I guess it's like any other party. I would just, you know, first of all, get confirmation, have activities that are not just fun for the child, but fun for the other folks that you want there. I wouldn't necessarily, I would definitely, especially today, invite other individuals who are also on the spectrum who might have similar interests. That, I think, is something that was not possible 15, 20 years ago because the prevalence wasn't there, and it was very hard to say. I always said, like, I remember early in my career, I had a child who was just brilliant, and I never could really find for him the appropriate social group because he was such a genius. Yeah. And it wasn't until he himself found in school another boy who had Asperger's, and then the two of them became like, you know, 2 peas in a pod, and it was beautiful. Yeah. But I really believe that if you can try to identify the people who are similar, right, have similar interests, no matter what age, and that you provide an activity that is of interest to the social group, you're going to have people show up. It's really that simple. It's about planning the right people.
I got to say, you know, I think from the parent perspective, it kind of depends on the age of the child, what your tactic is. But I'm going to say something, and it's going to be wildly inappropriate. And this is not a commercial, but I'm going to say I threw cash at it. Okay. I just threw cash at it, and I didn't have the money to spend, but I would save all year long. And when we had a couple of parties when my son was little, and what we would do is we would invite all of our adult friends to a kid party and ask them to bring all of their kids. And that's how, but when he started school, when he was in kindergarten, I don't know whether, it was kindergarten, the year that he turned 5, we invited the entire class. Yep. And we made sure we sent multiple invitations home with the parents, and we had the birthday party at, ready for this, not a commercial, Build-A-Bear. Yeah. Oh, and it said, please come, your child will be given a teddy bear. Because when you do a birthday party at Build-A-Bear, they have a specially priced teddy bear. At that time, it was $10. And I kind of did the math on it, and I was like, and I had cupcakes that were in the little,
every kid's gonna come
to-go
to that.
cup, the little Chinese takeout cup. So I didn't have to clean my house. Yeah. I didn't have to buy decorations. We did the Build-A-Bear. And when you do the Build-A-Bear, I'm going to say this, I don't know if it's like this now, but it was at that time. So it was several $100s because not only did every single kid in the class come, they brought their siblings. Oh dear. It was so much money. I about had a heart attack in the store. But then they gave us, you got points for every dollar that you spent, you got points. So he had free teddy bears for the next 5 years, because I think it was $500 when I was all the way done, which is, for a lot of people, that's nothing for a birthday party. For me, that's catastrophic chest pain. Yeah. Right? But that one party at Build-A-Bear made him popular, and every party that we had afterwards, everybody knew that their kid was going to get something good. Yeah. And people would come out of the, and they would call and say, do you mind if he brings a friend? Yeah. And we never had a problem after that. Yep. So I'm sorry. I'm going to say throw cash at it.
It's funny that you say this, Shanna, because there's actually a lot of studies about, you know, one of the primary tactics to increase the social draw of an individual is like fun activities or even gadgets or a toy. Like there's a lot of research that says, hey, if you want other kids to play with your child, have them take something very interesting to school.
Yep.
Once a week, and others will be drawn to that object.
Yep.
And absolutely, I mean, if you can throw a party that is attractive, go for it. That's the way to go, for sure.
And Build-A-Bear loved it because not only, did they have my $500, but for the parents there were parents where my son went to kindergarten, there was a lot of disparity between income in the classroom. So there were a lot of kids that might be their only teddy bear that they got, and we felt good about that. But for the kids whose families had a little bit more money, then they ended up buying 2 outfits for the bear.
Yeah.
And the Build-A-Bear people were like, you can throw a pet party here whenever you want,
anytime
Shannon.
you want.
And we would come back every special occasion because I had this card that had all these Build-A-Bear points on it.
Definitely.
And he got a teddy bear for every wonderful thing. It was the party that kept on giving.
Yeah.
It was probably the best $500 I ever spent.
Absolutely. And you as a parent have to also be aware that environment might not be right for your child because it's too noisy, it's too stimulating, I don't know. Like I remember going to parties at Chuck E. Cheese where I wanted to kill myself. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like
It's
5
too
more
much.
minutes.
Yeah.
So you have to also be very wary of that sort of stuff with your child, but there's no question. If you can provide goodies and like a fun activity and promote that so everybody kind of knows this is the fun house.
Yeah, it's kind of like everybody knows which house in the neighborhood is the one where they give the big candy bars for Halloween, and everybody knows it, right?
That's it.
That's it. And so you got to throw that kind of birthday party.
When Charlie, my youngest, was little, so for all my kids, I used to throw these parties where it was like swimming, and we'd have one of those things, caterpillars or bouncy house or whatever it is. And it was so difficult, but I would be out there the entire day, all day, with not just the kids, but with the parents. Yeah. And I'm telling you, these parties, forget about making her popular. They made me, every time I'd go to a school event, the parents were like, I reserved you a seat.
Oh, yeah. Because they want their kid to be invited back to the party.
That event,
It's crazy. And can I say that when my son got older, we did the Friday afternoon video club that he had when he was in junior high, because we were struggling for him to make friends now that he was switching classes. So he got to invite 3 friends over every Friday afternoon, and I would have all the snacks. I would go get In-N-Out drive-through. Oh, wow. I would, there would be milkshakes and things.
So awesome.
And I never they could throw popcorn in our living room, and I just let them do it. And it turned into a thing where people were like, how do I get my kid invited to the Friday afternoon? I love it. And here was the other part about it was you could only come if your grades, if you were passing everything, all your classes. And parents would go, is there any way that I can get my child invited to your Friday afternoon club thing?
I love it.
You got to work it, you guys. And it's terrible, and it's hard. Okay.
If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here. Don't forget, you can watch Ask Dr. Doreen live every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time on autism-network.com. We hope to see you there.